Temperamental and an intellectual lightweight, but moderate Republicans say the rhetorical flame-throwing has to stop. Let's turn to two former Republican House members, Susan Molinari and Tom Tancredo. And to you both, and Susan, we'll start with you. The president reacted to this controversial speech that controversial remarks that Sotomayor gave. He said that he's sure she would have restated it, but then he defends the context. Your reaction?
Well, listen, I think everybody's reaction should be, let's wait and see. This is a woman who has a life that I think should be celebrated by the United States. She has lived the American dream. She is not an intellectual lightweight by anybody that I can call and who I know who has served with her in New York. On the other hand, she has some controversial decisions that I think we need to hear from. I think the whole point of this process is to wait for a fair hearing. These are not answers that can be determined as to whether someone can fit the realm of Supreme Court justice and a lifetime appointment in 30 seconds or based on 2 sentences that someone makes. So I think we're making a mistake until we give her time to explain who she is, and what her decisions are. Look, what the Democrats did to Miguel Estrada was an absolute shame, and I would hate to see the Republicans do this to this woman.
Mr. Tancredo, first on what President Obama said, that she would have restated those controversial remarks in 2001. Your reaction?
Polling must have told them it wasn't working very well, right? And I'm sure, by the way, that they've had the discussion with her. It's not going to be something they're going to do. They've had a discussion with her. She's going to do exactly what the president says. She's going to say, I wish I could have rephrased it or whatever, because they've tested it and they figured out, you know what? We haven't been able to actually defend her as we thought we were going
to. Mr. Tancredo, do you know that they've actually done testing? Do you know that they've actually done polling?
No. It's my
Okay,
totally
let's focus on something that you said. You've been one of her harshest critics, and that's clear. Let's listen to a charge that you made. Watch.
If you belong to an organization called La Raza, in this case, which is, from my point of view anyway, just nothing more than a Latino, it's a counterpart, it's a Latino KKK without the hoods or the nooses. If you belong to something like that, you have to explain that in a way that's going to convince me and a lot of other people that it's got nothing to do with race, even though the logo for La Raza is all for the race, nothing for the rest.
Mr. Tancredo, La Raza is the largest national Hispanic civil rights organization in the country. Susan Molinari has even gotten some awards from them. You called them a Latino KKK. Would you like to take this opportunity to apologize?
No.
No. So
Why should I?
You believe that they're like the KKK. So let me follow up, because let's just follow up right there.
Susan,
you believe that they're like the KKK, but here are the companies, Mr. Tancredo, that are either on the board or donors to La Raza. Johnson & Johnson, Allstate, AT&T, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. They have a conference coming up talking about strengthening the Hispanic American family. How is any of that anything like the KKK?
That's not. But how about this? And I'm glad to know Susan got an award. They gave an award to somebody else, by the way, not too long ago. His name is Jose Angel Gutierrez. Mr. Gutierrez was the founder of the Brown Berets. He was given the National Council of La Raza's Chicano Hero Award in 1994. Here's what he said. One of the things that he said led up to this award. We've got to eliminate the gringo. And what I mean by that is,
Mr.
if the worst comes to worst, we have to kill him. We have to kill him. We have to kill him and never apologize. Or are you going to let me finish this? Now, they gave him an award. Don't try to excuse him. Don't try to excuse this away. They gave this racist an award. If that isn't an indication of where their head is, then you tell me what is.
Okay, so everybody who gets an award is a racist.
And if that isn't a KKK type of activity, tell me what is.
I think we need to discuss the qualifications of this pending Supreme Court justice. And
well, I wasn't asked about
Republicans, that. No, I'm not. I'm just discussing this with David. I think that as Republicans, we have a woman whose life story should be celebrated. It is a great reflection on the United States. She has made some decisions that I think need to be explored and debated.
But Susan, how do we explore and debate that when people like Mr. Tancredo are making accusations that this organization is like the KKK?
I guess I'm here to just say I would hope that the majority of Republicans, as most United States senators have done, will just wait, hear this woman, ask some difficult, discerning questions, get some very important answers, and then come to a deliberative decision. That's what this is supposed to all be about.
Of course they will.
Sometimes, you know what, the Democrats did not do that for Republicans, including the President of the United States with Sam Alito.
Listen, Susan is absolutely right. That is the process that will unfold, but it is certainly not unprecedented to have discussions of politicos leading up to the appointment the actual hearings in the Senate for lots and lots of people who have come before them for Supreme Court nomination. There's nothing new about this, and when you have a candidate this controversial saying the kinds of things she says and judging the kind of cases she has judged, especially on the Second Amendment issue and in the Connecticut issue on discrimination, these are very, very high-profile cases. There's things that are certainly out there in the public domain for us to discuss.
And that's a totally valid argument. That's a totally valid and legitimate argument, as you say, but that's very different from suggesting that an organization is the KKK. But here's what Rush Limbaugh said along that vein. We got two different things going on here. Here's what Rush Limbaugh said about Sotomayor. Watch.
How do you get promoted in a Barack Obama administration? By hating white people. Or even saying you do. Or that they're not good. Or that put them down, whatever. Make white people the new oppressed minority. And they're going right along with it because they're shutting up. They're moving to the back of the bus. They're saying, I can't use that drinking fountain? Okay. I can't use that restroom? Okay. That's the modern-day Republican Party.
Mr. Tancredo, do you agree that the Obama administration hates white people?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this.
You don't know?
I certainly agree that.
In other words, they might?
No. What do I have no idea if they hate white people or not. But I will tell you this.
Do you have any idea that they don't hate white people?
I'm sick of having people suggest that because I am Caucasian, I cannot. And that's the suggestion here, is that if you are white, Caucasian, male, you cannot comment on this sort of thing. That's ridiculous. You know what it is? This is a matter for all of us. We're talking about the highest appointment in the land and in the judicial system. Of course we should discuss it. And I'm appalled by, quote, moderate Republicans who are out, I don't know who they are when you were earlier saying, they're out there saying, don't say these things. Listen, it's you guys who got us into the situation we're in, where we are in a minority status in the Congress. We've listened to you way too long. If you want to do something for the Republican Party, establish the difference. Establish the difference between us and the liberals.
In terms of what got
Susan, is the Republican Party being helped or hurt by the likes of Tom Tancredo and Rush Limbaugh?
I'd love to do it. I had to serve with George Bush.
I think that this country is not served well until we get to a point where we discuss, and I will agree with Tom on this, some very important decisions and issues that this woman has made. And I think Susan, we are served as a party when we keep it on those topics and reserve judgment until.
But how do you get to that discussion when you've got Rush Limbaugh saying that the Obama administration hates white people and you've got Tom Tancredo saying he's not even sure?
Again, we do what was not done in some cases with regard to Bush appointees to lower courts, and that we have a full hearing. We allow the nation to pay attention. We all just hold our fire in our judgment. And again, celebrate this moment in this woman's life, which I think you can do and still vote against once you hear what the answers to her stories are. I guess I would just hope that we all presume and proceed respecting her life, and respecting her ability to make a legitimate and logical argument. And then fair game to vote against her if you think she is not up to the mandates of being a Supreme Court justice.
Tom Tancredo, I want to be fair here and give you yet another opportunity.
I would love to be able to be here.
I want to be fair. Do you regret anything you've said in this segment, whether it's not knowing whether the Obama administration hates white people or about the La Raza being like the KKK?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
Do I regret it? Do you regret anything you've said so far in the implications that you've thrown around on this program? I don't think so. Neither do I. But I'll tell you this. I certainly agree with Susan Molinari. I certainly agree with her about the fact that we've seen this before. I wish I could be here defending Miguel Estrada, which I would certainly do. I would love to do, because all of this discussion, at least from my point of view, about the appointment process, has never, in my past, certainly nothing I've ever said has anything to do with race. I was quoting what somebody else has said who is now up for an appointment, and it had something to do with race, and also her affiliation with La Raza, the race. It is something, I think, that deserves questioning. I think it's absolutely legitimate for us to do so, and it doesn't mean anybody's a racist if they ask the question.
Well, for the record, La Raza says that the La Raza, they say, means the community, not the race, that there's several meanings to it. But in any case, it's a whole other issue. Susan Molinari and Tom Tancredo, thank you both.
The race. The race.
Interesting discussion, as always. We appreciate you both coming on. Up next, Karl Rove gets caught in a lie about Judge Sotomayor.